Hello, I'm Oudri탕, Taiwan's Digital Minister. I'm really happy to be here virtually for a few minutes to answer the question, and I quote, what would be the most important blockchain-based mindset that we can load on the civic platform? And are there any model cases that we can learn from? Unquote. To me, blockchain is just one way to realize a distributed ledger. So I'll be speaking about distributed ledger technology and the mindset about distributed ledgers. One of the most important measure technically in Taiwan during the coronavirus is the mask availability program. When we ration out the medical masks, we make sure that people around Taiwan, an island with more than 23 million people, they trust their neighborhood pharmacists, and they serve as the frontline people who make sure that people can present their national health insurance card, which covers more than 99.99% of citizens and residents, and then they can get some masks. Nowadays, every 2 weeks, an adult like me can collect 9 medical masks each 2 weeks from nearby pharmacies. If you're a child, you can collect 10 per 2 weeks. But how do we make sure that when we're ramping up the mass production from 2 million a day to 20 million a day, the distribution is fair across all the different islands in Taiwan? Well, we made use of distributed ledgers. There's a civic technologist, Howard Wu Jianwei from Tainan City, that worked on the mask availability map even before we started real name-based rationing. The idea is that for each spot that sells the mask, people can voluntarily report whether it runs out of the stock or whether there's still some mask available. And what we have intervened from the public sector is kind of like reverse procurement. We see that this visualization is really great, but relying on people to type in the numbers themselves can often lead to time-lagged results. So we committed to work with each pharmacy to make sure that their real-time stock is published every 30 seconds at a time. And so when we publish something every 30 seconds, something magical happens. Instead of if we publish every day where you have to rely on the trust to the government, publishing every 30 seconds is the government trusting the people. There's more than 140 different tools, including availability masks, chatbots, voice assistant, trend analyzers, and so on, that shows all these numbers so that people queuing in line can keep each other accountable, similar to how the nodes operate in a distributed ledger network. And so if I queue before someone, that someone can check on their map that after I present my NHI card and collect 9 medical masks, the level of medical mask store in that particular pharmacy actually decreased by 9. If they refresh the mask map and then see the number rather increases, they will call the toll-free number 1822 right there and reporting something is wrong. And so every 30 seconds, everybody gain a little bit more mutual trust, not only to the pharmacist, but also to the NHI system where you can ration out those masks. And another person from Tainan, Jia Mingzong, worked with civic technologists in South Korea when a month afterwards, South Korea introduced their own mask rationing system. The map from Tainan is one of the visualizations that actually gets used for the South Korean people. And so I think the most important feature in this is that the Minister Chen Shizhong is committed to weekly iterations. So instead of just facing criticisms with a defending attitude, for example, when one of the opposition parties MP, Gao Hong'an, in the parliamentary interpellation, asked the minister, why do this independent analysis show that there's uneven distribution at a district level, even though it's pretty even on the county level? Minister Chen did not jump to defend the policy. Rather, he said, oh, legislator, teach us. And then we just changed the distribution algorithm the very next day. So Ms. Gao actually wrote on Facebook publicly saying, yesterday's inquiry become today's improvement. And that is the spirit of collaboration and shared talents for projects that can grow and sustain themselves. Of course, mask availability is not the only thing that we map using distributed ledger inspiration. We also measure the air quality using the air box, water quality with the water box, so that people who are school children can learn about data stewardship and data competence, not just literacy, from a very early age. And because there's tens of thousands of those citizen science sensor stations, they can work with the Environmental Protection Authority as a data collaborative that bargains for example, installation of their sensing network in industrial areas and science parks. It turns out that we own the land in those science parks so that we can together build a civil IoT system. So for more information about the counter-coronavirus, please go to taiwancanhelp.us. And for more about using distributed ledger to, for example, manage a clean ocean and mountains and water quality, please consider visiting the presidential hackathon.taiwan.gov.tw. Thank you for listening and live long and prosper.